y'all who haven't been to a Booster Club meeting, we start off in a certain way, and tonight we're going to do that. Guys, help me. It's great to be a Northside Eagle! I know a lot of y'all are still eating, and that's okay, but we're going to go ahead and get started. There's some more folks coming in, but we're gonna go ahead and get started and make a move. Parents, families, friends, fans, welcome to the 2010 football banquet. I hope you sit back and enjoy yourself. I hope you see a lot of things that make you smile. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our principal, Mr. Mark Scott.
Thank you. I know that we always start our Booster Club meetings with that saying, but it's more than just a saying. We live it around here every day. It's great to be a Northside Eagle, and our kids know it. They know that we care about them. They know that we're a family here at Northside. Each and every day, there's a lot of people that give a lot of things to make sure these kids are successful, but we appreciate everything the parents do because we know it's not easy being parents of teenagers, and especially not being parents of teenagers that are involved in athletics, involved in extracurricular activities in school. And that's something that we're very proud of at Northside High School. We have a lot of kids involved in extracurricular activities. There's something for everybody at Northside High School. We care a lot about your kids. We care a lot about these football players sitting right here, and they know that we care about them. But I want to mention, and I'm sure we'll mention that, but the families of the coaches and the coaches themselves, I really appreciate the hard work. A lot of it goes unthanked and a lot of times unnoticed. And we do pay attention. We do appreciate everything that you do for the kids. And I know that you understand later when those kids come back to you 10 years down the road and tell you how much they appreciate you standing up and going the extra mile for them. And we appreciate it as well, because that's part of being Northside. I know we've got a lot to do tonight, so I'm not going to hold you up any longer, but I would like for you to bow your heads and let's bless the food, please. Lord, thank you for the many blessings that you bestow upon us each day. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to gather here this evening to recognize the accomplishments of our student athletes and our coaches. I pray that you continue to guide those coaches that work with these kids on a daily basis to make sure they make the right decisions, make sure that they do everything they can in their power to help these children. Jesus, I ask that you bless this food for the nourishment of our body and our bodies to thy services. In your name we pray. Amen. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to the living legend,
I don't know if I'm hiding for that thing or not. If not, I'll talk loud so you can hear me. When Coach Kinsler asked me if I would do this, I sort of hesitated because I thought, well, do you really want me to do this? He was enthusiastic. It took me every bit of 15 seconds to say yes. So, yeah, I was going to tell him something. He told me that the football team was smart, that you were intelligent. So I decided to challenge you tonight in what I said. This is deep. That is very good. Well, I'll talk loud. Now I will really talk loud. This is the moment. This is the day. When I said send all my doubts and demons your way. Ever and ever, I it's here, now, it's today. This is the moment. This is the time when the momentum and the moment are in line. Give me this moment, this precious chance. I'll gather up my past and make some sense at last. This is the moment when all I've done, all the dreaming, scheming, and screaming becomes one. This is the day. See it sparkle and shine when all I lived for became mine. For all these years I faced, I played the game. Now the time has come to prove to you that I can do it on my own. This is the moment, my final test. Destined, destined, I never reckoned second best. I won't look down, I must not fall, for this is the moment, the sweetest moment of them all. This is the moment, regardless of the odds, the day or never, I'll sit forever with the gods. When I look back, I will always recall that playing the game was the best of all. Moment for moment, this was the moment, the greatest moment of them all. Now at this moment, I want everyone to stand except the football players. Stand me, stand up. Now at this moment, I want everyone except the players to stand on your feet and give the standing ovation with passion, with joy, and with love that they deserve. Christian attitude, honest, understanding, forgiving, patience, successful, young, knowledgeable, and accepting. Put all of these characteristics together, and what do we have? A coach, a teacher, a friend. His name, Kevin Kinzer.
I thank you, Mr. Horn, for that, and thank you for the kind words. He always does a great job with the poem that he writes, and Ray's been here a long time, and Northside High School means a great deal to him, and we certainly appreciate over the years. I've been listening to him make that poem and that speech since about 1978. He always does a great job. It's hard to believe he's been here that long, but he always does a great job. I too want to welcome everybody out tonight and thank you for being here. Just bear with me tonight. I'm sure that as the night goes along that I'll leave somebody out or misstep in some way. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I learned this from Mr. Dyson because he misstepped a lot. So what he did was he'd start off every speech, and there was a lot of them, with an apology. And thank you in advance for understanding all my missteps. So I appreciate you understanding, and we hope that you enjoy the night. And again, I'm sure that somebody will be left out or something's going to go not quite right. We've already had the microphone. Mr. Scott's assured me that he had it already. And,
Dr. Hines, you know, he came behind him and seconded it, so we'll go. I got to go with the two top dogs. At this time, what I'd like to do is just recognize some special guests that we have here tonight. First, I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Terry Stringer and his staff for the fine meal. Mr. Stringer always does a great job, and I know that if we had to start the program, because Coach Streak was already on his third plate, and so we had to cut him off. But Mr. Stringer and his staff always do a fine job. There's Mr. Stringer right there. You know, for the last several years, Northside has been extremely successful, and we've been very blessed and very fortunate. And any time you have a successful program and a successful season, a lot of things have to go into that all year round, and it requires a lot of planning and a lot of work, that not just by the players, but from people that are real close to the program and work real hard to get a lot of little things done that sometimes a lot of other people don't really want to do. And we really need these kind of people, and any successful program has it. And tonight, I'd just like to recognize a few of those, because Northside is blessed with a lot of good support people that have been great for our program for a long time. At this time, I would like any executive board members of the Busher Club to please stand. Just give them a round of applause. The Busher Club all year long does a great job of supporting our young people, and whether it's through food or just the support of raising money for the program, or just, you know, being supportive no matter what happens out on the field, you know, being a positive force for Northside High School. And the board that you just saw stand, a lot of them have been here for a great many years. Several of them haven't had kids here in several years, and I just appreciate their commitment to Northside High School. Next, I'd like to recognize the administrators here at Northside High School. You've already met Mr. Scott, and I'd like to introduce his wife, Tina. And Mr. Scott, I just want to say how much I appreciate Mr. Scott, the fine job that he does in supporting us. When Dr. Hines left us, you know, we were a little bit concerned, and he assured me that he was bringing in somebody, and you know, Mr. Scott has really done an outstanding job, and I really appreciate his support, appreciate his friendship, especially to our program. Next is David McDermott. He's back there. He's still at the food table, which is typical for him. And Mr. Greg Peavy could not be here tonight, but Mr. Peavy is one of our game managers, does a great job. Ms. Kay Isom, one of our assistant principals, she had class tonight. Also Sonia Peterman and Walter Stevens are the other of our administrators who really support our young people, whether it's in the classroom, making them do the right thing, or out on the field. They do a great job for us, and I appreciate those people. We have some board members and some central office staff here. First we have, where's Tom Walmer? Tom Walmer, who's the chairman of our school board, is here with us. Mr. Jim Maddox, where are you, Jim? Stand up, Jim. He's our newly elected board member, and we're going to break him in just right. But he was a long-time supporter of Northside before he was elected to the board, and we expect great things from Mr. Maddox. I don't think I missed any other board members. We have some other central office staff here. Mr. Anthony Lunsford, Dr. Eric Payne. Could you guys stand up for me just a minute? They came to the Northside football banquet. Could y'all just turn around for everybody? Eric, where did you go to high school, Dr. Payne? Northside. Northside. I don't even own anything red. But I do appreciate you guys being here.
And I'm sure they'll be back.
And I'm sure they'll be back. Also, we have with us City Councilman, Mr. Tom Sims. Glad you could be here. And we have our superintendent, Dr. Robin Hines, and his wife, Kim, and he's dressed in blue. We appreciate y'all being here tonight, and definitely appreciate your support for Northside High School. There's some other people that couldn't be here tonight, but our ortho staff that works with our athletes, unfortunately, throughout the season, when you start in spring and then all the way through summer, you're going to have some injuries, and we have a great group of doctors. They had their board meeting tonight and could not be here, but I did want to recognize Dr. Scott Malone, Dr. Todd Kennebrew, Dr. Jeffrey Jarrett, Dr. Bill Wiley, and Dr. Jeffrey East. Those are our orthopedics. Also, our chain crew could not. I know Jimmy Walker. I talked to him. He's home repairing the chains from when he messed them up the last game of the season, throwing them down. But Jimmy Walker, Alan Tatman, Kelly Faust, and Clayton Lumsden are part of our chain crew and did a good job for us this year. Also, our clock operator. Where's Mr. Robert Dominy? Way back there in the back, Mr. Robert Dominy operates our clock operator. He's been doing it for a long time, and hasn't always been easy. He's had some health issues this year, but he was a trooper and came out and fought through it. Our PA announcer, Mr. Billy Walters. I don't know, I didn't see Billy earlier, but he's our colorful PA announcer that gets us in a lot of trouble. Our photographer on the sideline and does a lot of work for us with our webpage, Steve Kelly. And I know some of these people aren't here, but I feel like as much as they do for the program, I want to make sure I recognize them. Our radio, Mr. Mike Davis, Randy Toms, Mr. Radio. Mike does a great job for us on the radio. Our season ticket sales, Miss Barbara Waddle, I didn't see her here earlier, and W.C. Hester. Our webmaster and our video board, where's Mr. Chad Walters? Mr. Chad Walters does the NorthsideFootball.com. He's the one that runs that, does a lot of great stuff on that for us, and he also, along with, where's Rob Frisch? Rob Frisch is also the video board operator during the games, the videos and things that you see up, not the commercials, but the highlights and things like that. He coordinates with Chad, and they do a great job of that. Also, our video, Mr. Mike Martin. Stand up. Mike's been doing the video here for a long time, and I really appreciate you people that come to Booster Club and get to watch the game videos. You really see the quality of the work he does, and I promise you, in this new region with all these new schools, we've got some doozy of videos to try and break down and grade and use to prepare for a football game. And the thing that kind of upsets me is we send them this great stuff that Mike videos for us, and we get things from them that sometimes it hurts your eyes to watch. I didn't wear glasses when I started, but Mike does an outstanding job for us, and I really appreciate it. Our stat man, Mr. Tom Walmer. Where's Tom? He's slipped out. And also Mr. Marty Shepard, who doubles as our treasurer of the Booster Club. Those two guys do a great job for us. And then one more I want to mention, who is, I'm not sure what his official title is now, but he's retired. And he has, he's probably one of the single most enthusiastic, committed, caring, loving Northside people that there will ever be. When a lot of us are dead and gone, they'll still be talking about the things that this man's done for Northside High School, and mostly the kids that have come through here, and that's Ed Dyson. Another one I'd like to recognize is Ricky Simmons. Stand up, Ricky. Rick Rack. Of course, a lot of you know Rick Rack has been carrying the balls out to the officials for a long time. And he hasn't slowed down much, I promise you. He hasn't slowed down. And a lot of times he's out running the players down the field with the ball. And I know this is sort of getting long, but these people really deserve some recognition, and for you to be able to see some of the faces behind the scenes of what we do. One group that I just want to give my appreciation to is the assistant coaches here at Northside. A lot of people, or a lot of these coaches have been here for years and years like I have. I really believe this, that there is not a more committed, a more dedicated, and more knowledgeable group of guys working with your children than these guys sitting right over here, and I appreciate every one of them. One thing I'd like to mention, you know, just here recently when school got out, for a lot of the college kids came back from the Christmas holidays that are off playing somewhere else. One of the bit, they come back and they always have these complaints about how their coach in college dog cusses them and calls them names, and you know, and uses that as a motivational technique, and how, you know, they just can't stand the atmosphere of negativity and profanity and things like that. And I can promise you this, as long as I'm here and those guys are coaching your children, they're never going to be in that kind of situation. Our kids that come back, they really appreciate the way that these guys get the job done without doing those kind of techniques and coaching techniques, and they do a good job of it. But the ones that are really knowledgeable and really underappreciated are the coaches' wives. And they're a special group. As a lot of you know, we spend a lot of time up here, and we really spend a lot more time with your children than we do our own. And that means that somebody's got to be at home with them. And those are the coaches' wives. And not just spending time with children, but doing all the different things that have to be done around the house when we're not there. It's basically almost like being single. And I like being single. Okay? But I would like to recognize this very special group of ladies. First, my wife, Laurie Kinsler. Some of these couldn't be here tonight because they have newborns at home and are taking care of children, but Monica Smith, Coach Smith's wife. Tanisha Allagood. Miss Kim Stewart. Karen Estes. Angela Crawford. And one that really struggles and has to work hard is Lorraine Harrelson. Jennifer Gerald. Jennifer's at home. They just had a newborn over the holidays. And Regina Street, Coach Street's wife. She's also at home with their newborn. And again, I just want to say that I appreciate greatly all these people that have supported Northside High School and support the Northside football program and what you mean to us, from the central office staff, board members, Booster Club executive people, right on down the line, the people that support these young men over here. And now, for the reason that we're here, to celebrate the 2010 Northside Eagles. I've been here for over 20 years. I know it doesn't look like it, but I've been here for over 20 years. And we have a lot of contact with coaches from other schools and other athletes from other schools over the years. And I can honestly say, and I've been other places, our kids, our players, are the best kids in the state of Georgia playing football in high school.
Yeah.
These young men over here, they're not perfect, none of us are. They come from all their different backgrounds and things, but from the time that I took over in January, these kids have been a great group of young men to work with. From the seniors to juniors, sophomores, right down to the ninth graders. They all have a great characteristic about them. And this year, they all somehow found a way to use that one characteristic or more characteristics, combine them together, and make a fine football team. And they're a credit to their families, they're a credit to themselves, and I really enjoyed coaching them this year. And I'm glad that we get to come together and celebrate such a fine group of young men. We have some seniors over here that before this senior season started, there were a lot of them that maybe felt like they didn't contribute a whole lot, or maybe felt like they hadn't done much, as far as their playing time at Northside High School. But I know for a fact, and they know who they are inside, some of those seniors turned out to be great leaders for our football team. And I guarantee you there's some of them that never thought in a million years that they would have stepped up to the leadership role that they did this year. But they did. And it was different guys at different times. The seniors did an outstanding job of leadership this year, especially some of the individuals that we never expected. The sophomores, we had a lot of sophomores that wound up playing way before their time. They never would have dreamed that they'd be out there on a Friday night, but due to injuries or this or that, a lot of them stepped out on the field for Northside High School, and they did themselves proud, and they did Northside High School a great respect. And again, it's just a testament to the quality and the character of the young men that we have playing here at Northside High School. These young guys, everything that we asked them to do, from the weight room all year long in football practice, everything that we asked them to do, everything their coaches asked them to do, this has just been an amazing group to coach, because they never complained, at least what we could hear them. They did everything that we asked. They never questioned it. They just went out, no matter how hot it was, or how long we stayed, or how much we hit, or what the situation was. They just continued to take one challenge at a time. One challenge at a time. And it's almost like picking up your lunch pail and going to work every day. That's how they did it, and they went about it in a very professional manner, and a great representation of their families in Northside High School. And for that, I'm very appreciative. This team this year accomplished some great things. We didn't do what we set out to do. We didn't reach the goal that we worked so hard for, that we set for ourselves. And for a long time, that's going to leave a bitter taste inside of all of us, especially the young men sitting right over there, because nobody wanted it more than they did. And they set that goal, and they worked for that goal. But the fact that we didn't get to where we wanted to be cannot take away from the great things that these young men accomplished this year. And I will not let the fact that we didn't accomplish it take away from what they did, because they accomplished quite a bit. Number one, it's the 13th season in a row that Northside High School has had 10 wins or more. This group got number 13, which ties the state record. They had an undefeated region schedule. They were the winner of the Great American Rivalries competition, which was a national competition. You see the trophy here with the rivalry game, and won another city championship by beating Warner Robins and Houston County. Which, if my count is right, that's 8 out of the last 10 years that they've won that. Great job. And finally, They won the region championship, went undefeated throughout the regular season, and won the 1 Quad A region championship. And for that, those are great accomplishments, and I commend you. As we go on to the next portion of our ceremony, I know this is going to get long. We had 112 football players this year. We had 30 more sophomores that came up to us at the end of the year, so there's a lot of people that are going to be recognized, and I understand that it gets long. But I do ask that we show these guys their proper due and proper respect, and as we go through with the awards program, I want you to understand some things. At the end of the year, the kids vote on the awards that are given here tonight. Throughout the year, they see their teammates. They see the things that their teammates do at practice, in the weight room, out on the field, on game night, and they're the ones that vote for the awards. Most, 90% of these awards that are being given out tonight. And they did a good job. It's unfortunate that not everybody gets an award, but these things are things that these guys feel like these are the guys that represented them the best and represented and are deserving of the awards that they'll get tonight. And I'd like to start off tonight asking Coach Estes to come up, and he's going to give our Tim Taylor Christian Athlete Award.
All right, like Coach Kinzer said, I'm Coach Estes, and I'm here to present the Tim Taylor Christian Athlete Award. If I had to say one word about this young man who's the recipient of this award, is he's humble. He's humble. And as I was looking through the Bible today, I found this verse out of Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing out of conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourself. Everyone should look not only for his own interest, but also for the interest of others. I truly believe humility assists in developing a strong work ethic. It enables someone to be coachable, and it makes a person pleasant to be around. These are all characteristic traits of this young man. This young man also values relationships that demonstrate his commitment to Jesus Christ and His Word through integrity, teamwork, and excellence, both on and off the field. The winner of the 2010 Tim Taylor Christian Award goes to Mr. Aaron Jones.
Next we have the Matt Arthur Leadership Award on offense. It goes to a young man. We had a group of offensive players this year. We didn't have any returning from the year before. They came together and gelled our guys up on the offensive line, and they needed somebody to sort of take everybody by the reins and pull them along and keep them in line. And this young man did a great job of leading that group and did a great job as a quiet leader a lot of times. Just one of those guys that went out and did his job when he was supposed to, and the others followed behind. But a fine young man. Our Matt Arthur Leadership Award on offense goes to C.J. Hassel. Next, Mr. Dyson is going to present our Ed Dyson Leadership Defense Award. I hesitate to give it.
You know, he saw each week that during the football season, we had an opportunity to come out on Thursday or Friday and meet with the young men. We have a devotional period, and as I tell them each Thursday or Friday, how I have prepared for the week to come and be with them. It's a special time, and it seems as if it's been such a long time between one week to the next week because of the special time that we have. Now, I've had an opportunity to get to know this young man. I'm really excited about him receiving this award. The Ed Dice Leadership Award tonight goes to Troy Williams.
Next, Coach Smith will present our 2010 academic awards.
Okay. Take just a second here to let all the parents know that we try our best to stay on our football player athletes academically, behaviorally, spiritually. Last summer, we didn't have any football players that had to go to summer school to be eligible. Now, we had one or two that might have gone to catch up on the class, but that might not seem a lot to you, but that might be the first time that that's happened in a very long time. So our guys, our coaches, we try to do a good job staying on top of them. We had a faculty meeting today just to let y'all know that we're going to have free tutoring after school in all 4 academic areas, math, science, social studies, and English. There'll be free transportation for them to get home. So I encourage you to encourage your children to take advantage of these tutoring if they need it. So I just wanted you to know about that. If you got any questions, feel free to call us up here at the school and we can give you more information on that. But at this time, I'd like to recognize our 10th grade winner, Pat Summers Scholarship Award. It goes to a young man that had a 91.93 grade point average, Jaleel Morse. Our junior, who had a GPA of 92.81, and if I'm not mistaken, he's won this award before, is Jack Montgomery. And our senior award winner, I know for a fact he's won it maybe every year that he's been in high school, with a GPA of 95.43 is Brian Layfield.
Brian was also a recipient of the Great American Rivalry Scholarship. He won that back during the week of the Warner Robins Northside game. They took a lot of the GPAs and a lot of the different candidates, and he came out and won a scholarship from Great American Rivalries. Next, I'd like Mr. Mike Davis to come up and make his presentation, please.
Well, it's great to be back at Northside with this trophy. I want to thank all the players for all y'all do. I've enjoyed working with y'all over the years with the radio and all we get to do with y'all. And we've always presented this award here the last 6 or 7 years. And thankfully we're back here with it. But Coach Kinsler, I have the City Championship Award for 2010.
I wonder what they do at other schools in the city. I guess it's dead space when that award is given. It better continue to be that. Next, as we go into this part of the program is when we're going to start recognizing a lot of our players and our support people like our trainers and our managers. And they'll come out and each coach is going to introduce each one of the players in their group. And they'll receive a couple of items tonight. If they're a letterman, they're going to receive a certificate of letter. They're also going to receive a t-shirt which indicates that they are city and region champions. And they'll also get a patch to go on their letterman's jacket which signifies that they are 2010 1 Quad A region champs. And they'll also get a highlight video of the entire season. That's what each player is going to get. Now the senior football players will also be receiving their home and away game jerseys, and that'll be their keepsake. So before we move on, we'll go to a young lady who has been with us for a long time, and she's as good as there is. She does a great job getting our kids back on the field, and sometimes when they don't want to be on the field, she makes sure that they stay on. Make sure that she takes care of a lot of their injuries. Some of you know her, unfortunately, but she does an outstanding job. But here to introduce our student trainer, Bonnie Hitchcock.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to the parents for allowing your children to be my children. You can ask them, I probably give them mom looks and I get on them like a mom would. They're my children. Thanks to Mr. Scott, Coach Kinsler, the administration here. I say it every year, there's no place better than Northside, and I've been in a lot of different schools. And this coaching staff is one of the best coaching staffs I ever have the privilege of working with. So I'm very blessed to be here, and the hospital's blessed. They blessed me by sending me to Northside. So thank you for that. Guys, y'all know I love y'all. And y'all are way special to me, and y'all drive me crazy some days. But it's great to be here, and I appreciate y'all for allowing your children to spend time with me. And I have one student trainer this year that made it. She's been with me since her spring of her 8th grade year. So she's been around quite a while. And Sabrina Zunino. I call her my 4-year starter because she's actually put up with me and been able to withstand everything that I demand out of her. She does a great job, and her being a senior this year, I don't know what I'm going to do next year. So if anybody's got like a rising 8th grader that's interested, a little smart, not afraid of blood and guts, let me know. But she's been an asset, and I don't know what I'm going to do without her. So I appreciate her. She runs my training room. She keeps me straight, and love her to death. So here's your letter. Thank you. And I have
Sabrina does do a fine job along with Bonnie, and we are going to miss her. And we are going to start our search for her replacement, but it's hard to replace somebody that's been doing it for 4 years, replace that experience and that knowledge. Next, Coach Nix, as a joke, put me in charge of hydration years ago. I say it was a joke, it may have been more than that, but when it's 105 degrees outside and the players are practicing, they got to have water. And a coach has got to be in charge of that. And we have the most sophisticated hydration products known to man. But there's still never enough water. Okay? So a lot of times I would hear that, "Coach, where's the water? Where's the water?" So when we met as a staff at the beginning of the season, it was my turn to delve out the responsibility. They knew the first job I was going to hand out, and they tried to scatter. But Coach Gerald was the last guy out of the ring. Coach Gerald, come up and introduce our mentors.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Coach. No, these guys, they're not all here this evening. I wish they were. They really do deserve a lot of recognition. They're out there just as much as anybody else in the heat and the sweat. And they're lifting and they're working and they're getting hollered at, hurry up, and by the players and the coaches. I mean, you know, all season long. And these guys really just help us out tremendously, and we appreciate everything they do for us. And the two that are here tonight are Paul Hammond and Dalton Stewart.
That is a thankless job, and those guys do a great job for very little pay. Next, we're going to start with our player awards. Coach Crawford is going to come up and give out our junior varsity defense award. All right, our 2010 defensive award for our junior varsity. A little bit about our junior varsity real quick is, you know, we don't play a lot of games. We played 2 or 3 this year. And this young man is everything you ask in somebody as far as the JV player goes, because you give a lot on you know, Monday through Wednesday, scout team wise. We ask a lot of those guys to give us a look, and every week you did a good job doing that. There's plays on Thursday when we had our games, and look forward to seeing him play more next year. Our defensive JV player is Jackie Johnson. Next, Coach Thorpe is going to present our JV offensive award.
Our JV offensive award goes to a young man who works very hard in the weight room, on the field. And if he don't does right, he's gonna beat himself up. That's the kind of kid he is. So if he don't make the run or the block he wants to make, then he's gonna get mad. That's when he runs the best, is when he gets mad. Against Warner Robins, he got real mad and he ran all over him down the field, 60 yards for a touchdown. We expect him to do a lot of special things for us in the future. Curtis Martin.
Next, Coach Harrelson is going to present our special teams award. If all the kickers could come up front, please. We got all the kickers. All the kickers.
Before we do our special teams award tonight, we're going to recognize all our kickers. You're seeing right now about half of them. We have the largest collection of kickers anywhere on the planet, I'm pretty sure. I tell you what, they did a great job for us this year, all the way from 9th grade all the way up to the varsity level. Some big kicks, some big times came through for us in some big spots. It's definitely a thankless job because you're very seldom going to get a whole lot of respect from on the football field from other people, and people a lot of times only notice you when you miss and you mess up in this position. So hats off to you guys, and thank you for all that you do. But I will say this: if you ever get to our practice early during specialties, heads up, because with this amount of kickers, there's a ball coming from every angle. Start with our kickers right here. Leo Kirk. Lorenz Brock. Dylan Mixon. Cody Gary. And TJ Wilson. All right, now for our Special Teams Award tonight. I tell you this, whenever I saw this award, I did, there were so many people that really could have gone to. So many guys that did a great job for us on special teams this year. If you went to all our games, came and saw us play very regular, you'll notice that we did a great job on special teams this year. That's a testament to how hard these guys work at it and how hard these coaches coach them whenever they go out there. But this player that we're going to award tonight for special teams is truly one of the most gifted special teams guys I've ever seen, and that you'll probably ever see put on the pads. I really hope we get to see him move on next year and play great ball and share his talent with other people, because he definitely has a special one. We saw it the very first game of the year against Union Grove, and we saw it pretty much throughout. He didn't get a whole lot of opportunities, as most great return guys don't as the year goes on. But with every opportunity he got, all the way down to the very last one against Whitewater, he made a lot of memories for us, and that's Stephen Nelson.
Next, Coach Smith is going to come and present the defensive line. Come on up, guys.
All defensive linemen, make your way over here to my left. All the way over. I was very fortunate as they make their way up to have a large group of guys to work with this year. It's not too many high schools in the state of Georgia can roll out 2 defensive lines, which creates opposition some problems when you're as deep as we were fortunate to be this year. We've had some great seniors who've had great careers here at Northside. We had some juniors that played really well, and we've had some a large sophomore class who a lot of those guys will be stepping up and playing for us next year. But these guys right here, they showed up in the summer, all 15 workouts. I think we might have had 1 or 2 that didn't make it for vacationing reason or whatever, but nobody had to make up. They made their mandatory amount. And when they walk out on the field, they know to flip the switch on, it's time to go to work, and they work, and then it's time to, they know when to flip it off. And they did an outstanding job for us. It's going to be sort of sad for me as a coach to see some of these seniors leave us this year, but this will give the chance for some of the underclassmen to come on and step up and do a great job for us. At this time, I want to recognize our freshmen that came up with us at the end of the 9th grade season, Josh Glover. We had a couple more, for whatever reason, that were unable to attend tonight. I'll start at this time recognizing our sophomores. Cassius Miller. Austin Roberts. Diego Smith. Alonzo Mace. Mikey Jones. Keem Radford. Mark Walker. Anthony Chatfield. So my mom always gets on to me because you got to tell him how to say his first name. Well, I made sure I got it right. Ace Hemmer. Stuck together. And Adam Hall. I'll start with our juniors, and I think I got one mixed up. Mark Walker, he's a junior, but we'll start off with Herbert Wade. Jackie Johnson. And Josh Chester. And now our seniors, like I said before, these guys have done an outstanding job. They've had great careers here at Northside. They've helped carry on tradition, excuse me, and they're going to be missed greatly. Edward Pines. Anthony Wynn. Byron Levat. Jaquandris Albritton. Earl Billingsley. Tavares Germany. Brandon Waters. And last but not least, Troy Williams. Our most outstanding defensive line award was named after Chris Johnson, a young player who played for us a few years ago, who died with leukemia. I think everybody probably remembers him. This award is in his memory. It goes to a young man who's worked really hard as a Northside Eagle. He went from could barely make it through a practice to being the last one standing. He went on to play an all-star game this year, and this award was voted on by the players. The Chris Johnson Defensive Line Award goes to Earl Billingsley.
Now, Coach Crawford will introduce our linebackers.
Could get those guys to come up here, please. While they're coming up, I'd like to thank Coach Kinsler for the opportunity to coach linebackers here at Northside, and appreciate that opportunity. I'd like to also thank my wife who's not here, and all your parents, and giving the opportunity to work with your kids. Appreciate that opportunity, and I'd like to thank the players that giving the opportunity to work with them. I've seen those guys grow, and especially the seniors, you guys that we have senior-wise. We have 3 seniors, and the good thing about these seniors is all 3 of them played 4 years here, and that means a lot to me as a coach, and
it should mean a lot to them because you know, if you spend 4 years in our program, you've accomplished something, I believe, and those guys really need to be complimented for that. And you should always remember that wherever you go. I appreciate that. A couple things about linebackers as a whole, and I'll go to introduce them, is I challenge them all year long about finding their role. Finding your role as far as what your role is on this football team, whether it be a starter, a backup, JV guy, whatever your role is, find out what that role is because it's going to be a lot better on you. You got a lot better experience with football. So that's something I stress with them to appreciate, you know, playing at Northside. Northside has been very fortunate to be very good at football, as like Coach said earlier, and as well as have some great linebackers here. And you know, through the years, you know, if you follow Northside football, we've had some great players at linebacker, and that's no. That's not anything this year that wasn't the same. You know, we've had some great players, and we'll have some great players. Always going to have great linebackers here because one, Coach Kinsley's going to put good linebackers there, so that's good. Okay, you're going to put good players at linebacker because they got to make plays, and you know, that's something to appreciate. When people come and watch us play defensively, you notice those big guys up front that Coach just announced make it a lot easier for these guys to make plays. And you know, we faced a lot of different offenses this year, spread, a lot of stuff we saw. We stopped one of the best offenses in the state, Lee County. They were a great offense. You know, we pretty much shut them down, and linebackers had a big part to do with that along with everybody else, and that was a big accomplishment. As well as Thomas County Central offensively, you know, they're a very good football team, and these guys. Those two games there stick out in my mind as far as playing good people on offense and doing a very good job there. And last thing was, you know, Coach mentioned earlier about injuries. This is one of the positions we had a lot of injuries at, but that's football. That's part of it. You know, I tell those guys all the time that you never know when it's your opportunity. You know, you better be ready for it. And we had some young guys have to step up and did a good job. Did a good job for us. We had a sophomore that actually led our team in tackles. Dr. Diallo's got hurt, but did a great job for us, and make mention of that here in a minute, okay? So if I could have the freshmen come up to the front. I got one of them here today, so I'll call them out. This one guy's a freshman. His name is DJ Williams. He did a good job for our 9th grade team. Should be off to the sophomores now. Y'all move up, sophomore. Our first sophomore is a young man, plays linebacker for us, been in our program 2 years, on the Brian Page. Next player for us has also been in our program 2 years, so looking forward to big things from him, Kendall Scott. Next young man, these next two guys are sophomores that played a lot of football for us. They played we played 11 games, they played in all 11 of them, whether it be a special team role or a starter role. And if you ask them this time last year, some of you freshmen are sitting there now, they wouldn't have thought in a million years they'd been played as much as they played this year. They may say it, but deep down, they didn't think it. And then all of a sudden, they were throwing a role that, you know, and as the year went on, they realized they did a very good job for us. First young man is number 34, played outside linebacker for us as well as some inside, Anthony Williams. And the next young man is a sophomore. When Diallo's got hurt, our defense is based on this position. It's a huge part of what we do on defense. And you know, that position makes us go. That's why Diallo's does such a great job at it. When he got hurt, we had to have somebody step up. You know, and somebody I challenge all the time. And right now, it's a big part of it. Challenge him to make sure he goes out and does a good job and want to lead our defense. And Trey, he led our team in tackles, special team wise and defensively. Not Diallo's, but Trey Payne, this sophomore here. Trey Payne. Juniors. Good thing about those guys there, you know, we got them back for 2 more years, as well as these guys here. We get them back for another year. Our first one's a junior playmaker, and another guy has to find your role. Find your role. He plays some special teams stuff for us, and looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. Tim Walker. Next round, I tell you his name. May say something good about you.
young man is a guy that came along, was a little bit ninth grader, and now he's filling up that shirt. Doing a good job for us out there, and Curtis Askew. Next young man is a guy that's also got a lot of leadership qualities about him. You know, whatever it may be, he's got a lot of leadership qualities about him. Guys like to be around him. That's a good thing. He's going to find a role in this football team. He's going to do something big for us next year. Keegan Brown. This next young man is the last junior, played outside linebacker for us, actually played some defensive end for us last year as a sophomore. And we moved him back to linebacker, a guy that can run real well. Another guy that's got a brother that played here, was real successful for us. Look forward to big things out of him next year. Chris Crawford. Good thing. Usually. All right, these last three guys, you know, I started out coming to Northside. I was a ninth grade coach, freshman coach. Moved up, opportunity came, and I've seen these guys grow, and it's been a real pleasure to see them grow as young men, as football players. Some of them probably may not played as much or did some things that they maybe thought they'd accomplished in 4 years, but definitely contributed to this program to where it's at today. And I want to call those guys out now. The first guy is a guy we moved from running back, linebacker, running back to linebacker. Did a good job for us on special teams and some reserve role, DJ White. When DJ's in a room, you know. Most people know. All right, this next young man is a guy that you know, it's been a pleasure to see him grow as a man. You know, Devontae used to be a really, believe it or not, he used to be real skinny. Now he's got to put on some weight. Yeah, I know. But Devontae, you know, I talk about Devontae all the time because he takes care of his stuff in the classroom and does what he's supposed to off the field. You know, he works hard, everything he does. The guy's going to be successful in life. A lot more young men like this will make us a better place. Devontae Brown. Next young man is, I don't need any introduction. Young man I saw play in the 8th grade. I can still remember at Thompson. He was running across the field. Came all the way across the field. Him and Shaquille, some other guys were playing. I believe it was a championship game over the stadium. And the Yellows came all the way across the field and made a play. And I said, that kid's going to be special, just ability-wise. And but just to see him grow and the things he's been through off the field, to become the man he is today, he's going to continue to do that. And looking forward to seeing what the next few years of y'all's opportunities to go play at the next level. And so that's going to be a lot of what he does and how he handles that. Y'all know Dallas, he had shoulder surgery during the season. Dr. Andrews in Birmingham, which is one of the best surgeons in the world, did his shoulder surgery. So we know he's going to be back fully after he gets done working with Miss Bonnie, rehabbing every day from now until graduation. Correct? All right. So he's going to be looking forward to seeing him do things. Number 22, Dialos Jackson. All right, and now real quick, I'll quit talking here. 2010, most outstanding linebackers. Like I said, needs no introduction. 3-year starter for us. And I still remember as a junior last year, he made 15 tackles in the state championship game. And yeah, that game that nobody wants to talk about, but he was all over the Georgia Dome. And I'm telling you, as good a player as you're going to see at that position in high school, and that's Dialos Jackson. Thank you, appreciate it.
Defensive backs, make your way up front, please. backs. I remember my first year at Northside High School, Stan Ginn was the head football coach here. Mr. Dyson might remember I had 5 defensive backs. If one of them got hurt, he came, I'd say, stay out there, stay out there. But you can see we got quite a good group here, and that's a product of having such great participation in 112 players. This year's defensive backs, we had to replace some positions and graduated some really good players from the year before. We had a bunch of guys that really stepped up and worked hard and did an outstanding job, got better and better throughout the season, and with offenses nowadays getting every advantage in the book, you know, as far as pass interference and throwing the ball, it's very difficult to be a defensive back nowadays. But these guys did an outstanding job this year, especially against Lee County that you heard Coach mention. The week before we played them and thrown for 500 yards against Houston County. These guys held them under 100 yards passing, or excuse me, under 200 yards passing. And then all year long, they just did a great job against all these spread offenses. They held over 200 pass attempts. They held opponents to less than 40% completion rate, which was a great, outstanding accomplishment. They also intercepted 14 passes in 11 games, which is unbelievable for a high school football team. These guys did an outstanding job. And as I call your name, please come across to the front. First is freshman Dr. Bobby Hines. Next, our sophomores, Keyshawn Hill. Demontra Robinson. Sam Mike. Sam played free safety for us. Demontra was a corner. Corner, Rashad Williams. Another corner, Jamarian Askew. Christian Agee plays corner, number 44. Free safety, Brian Cosby, number 48. That was a pass interference. Marquez Moore. Marquez played several ball games, played on a lot of special teams for us this year. Now for our juniors, Clay Blackwell. Lance Canyon. DaVinci Sanders. DaVinci played on a lot of special teams, played a lot of football at corner, did a fine job for us, and going to do a great job for us next year. Number 10, Corey Lockett. Turn around, face it. Corey, it's not an award that we receive here. Corey's a junior, played strong safety for us, but he's also played rover linebacker, wheel linebacker, strong safety, free safety. Wherever we needed him, that's where we put him. And he never complains. He comes to the weight room every day, works, doesn't do a whole lot of rah-rah, just works. Today I saw a younger player struggling a little bit in the weight room. Corey goes up to him and quietly shows some leadership, trying to talk to him and encourage him. Out on the field, no matter what we ask him to do, it's not, Coach, I can't do that. He just goes and does it. And this year, Napa Auto Parts, some of you older guys like myself and Dr. Hines remember Larry Zonka, okay, that played for the Miami Dolphins. You know, he was one of those guys that had his nose broke 4 or 5 times, and he was just a workhorse player. Well, Napa Auto Parts, along with Larry Zonka, started the Blue Collar Athlete of the Year Award. And there's your 2010 recipient. I told Corey, you're going to a Banquet at the end of January to meet Larry Zonka. He said, all right. I said, who's Larry Zonka? I don't know. Next, free safety, Taz Thomas. Now for our seniors. Number 5, Quentin Driscoll. Quentin played corner for us, did an outstanding job on all of our special teams for us, made a lot of big plays for us. Number 23, Bob Durham. I didn't see one of our freshmen. This is Demetrius Knight, the one of our freshmen. Number 24, Joe Stern. His brother, number 25, Josh Stern. When those two were sophomores, actually when they were freshmen, I didn't think they were going to make it. When they were sophomores, I didn't think they were going to make it. When they were juniors, I wasn't real sure. But both of those young men really worked hard and did a good job for our football team this year. And Joe did an outstanding job for us at corner and turned out to be really good football players. And the last senior we have is number 28, Stephen Nelson. Our most outstanding defensive back this year goes to a young man who had 5 interceptions, had 30 tackles. That includes solos and assists, which our defensive backs generally don't make a lot of tackles because our guys up front do a good job. So 30 tackles is a lot. 5 interceptions is really good on a team that had 14 interceptions. He's an outstanding young man. He's going to go and he's going to play at the next level, and you're going to hear a lot about him, Stephen Nelson.
That's my baby.
Next, Coach Stewart will come. Offensive line, come on up.
Good evening. For one minute, I'm going to take up for Anthony right there. I've known Anthony my whole life, and he really is colorblind. No, he's not. But he's going to do better next year, I promise you. This group, I promise to. This group of young men is the offensive line. Parents, I want to thank y'all for allowing me to coach them. They're a great group of kids, just like all these guys are. They're a hard-working group of kids, and I definitely holler at them a lot. They know, but I tell them every day how much I love them and appreciate them. And I really do. And I'll start off with the ninth graders. We've got about 6 or 7, but 3 of them made it. This first young man is Ty Allen. I coached his father here at Northside, so that ought to tell you something. I've been here a while. Next young man is Josh Campbell. The next young man is Tyler Martin. These offensive linemen, like I say, they're all, an offensive lineman to me is somebody that can play all 5 positions. You know, center, left guard, left tackle, right tackle. So I'm not going to tell you all the positions they play because you need them. I always tell them, you know, they're supposed to be pretty smart guys. If you can play the left side, you can play the right side. So Clark Helwig, this is 10th graders right here. Michael Malloy. Ben Harris. Damian Brown. Taylor Lay. Josh Green. This guy right here started for us. He was a 10th grader, played a lot last year as a 9th grader. Kobe Knighton. We got a nice haircut for y'all. The next young man, these 11th graders, all the 10th graders right there. The next young man is Brent Blackman. These next young men, all these guys right here are juniors. They all played this year. First guy is Drew Foley. He started at center, did a great job for us. Punts. Next young man started for us at the first of the year against Union Grove. Then we're out here practicing. He was talking about hurt his leg a little bit and kept wanting to practice, so I let him go in. And the next step for him play, he broke his leg and had to get a rod put in it. But he went and had his surgery and has done a great job to get back, and I expect him next fall to start for us at tackle, Jamal Smith. Next young man started at right tackle for us, got all the ability in the world. Hopefully next year he'll have a great year and go on to bigger and better things, Mr. DJ Williams. Next young man is CJ Haslam. CJ, any position that we needed, CJ could step right in there and did a great job for us. CJ Haslam. As you can see, this last group is the seniors. There's not many of them. Football's hard at Northside High School, and offensive line is hard. These guys stuck it out, and they don't know how much I appreciate them. Every day at practice, first two, they were the first two out there dressed, made sure everything was set up, and just did a great job for them. They couldn't do it without them. First man is Brandon Barringer. The next young man, people talk about sacrifices. Kevin's father was fighting over in the war, and Kevin's father had a chance. If Kevin could have left and left Northside, his dad wouldn't have to go be deported again. But Kevin wanted to play at Northside so bad that his father went back across the ocean over there to represent us, and that shows a lot of dedication to Kevin Fisher. Next young man is Mr. Brian Layfield. Brian did a great job for us this year. Just came on and got better and better. I know he has nightmares for me sometimes, and I'm glad his mom wasn't out there long because I'd make him take his helmet off and do some practice stuff. But he got doing what he was supposed to do. A great young football player, Brian Layfield. The offensive award goes out to this young man right here. When he first came to Northside, he thought he was a linebacker. And he really wasn't. But you couldn't tell him that. He wanted to play defense, and then he got hurt, got a little slower. Then the next year he went to D-line, got hurt again, got even slower. So then of course I got him. And, I had to talk him into it, and just did an unbelievable job. He started in the spring, started out, did just a great job for us, became a great leader. He's a smart young man, as evident by his grade point average. This young man made all city, his first year starting, made all city, all middle Georgia, all region, and he was second team all state. The Northside offensive line winner, Mr. Brian Layfield.
Now, Coach Harrelson will come up and introduce the running backs and tight ends. Come on up, Coach.
Guys, we'll start out with the tight ends. Again, as everybody says here tonight, and I know it's starting to drag on for you a little bit, so we'll try to speed it up some, but you have to understand about how much time these guys have sacrificed to get to this point right here, right now. You really don't realize a lot of times that we're talking about 46, 47 weeks out of the year these guys are dedicated to football and how hard they work. And by this point in time of the year, once you've gone through 3 or 4 years with a kid, you get really attached to them. So I mean, these are emotional times for all the coaches to say goodbye to just the few seniors that we have this year. Let me get my tight ends first, and then we'll move on from there. We'll move on to running backs. Start with our young tight ends. We had 2 that are here tonight. From what I see, the first one is Graham Williams. Next one is Quincy Barnes. All right, moving on to our older tight ends. You have to understand these tight ends are guys who have to do a little bit of everything. They go and get a little bit of Coach Stewart's love when they go down to the O-line at the very beginning of practice. They got to be able to put their hand in the dirt. They got to be able to go out and play a little bit wide for us. They got to do a lot of things for us. So it takes some special kids to do this stuff. And a lot of these guys have played a lot of snaps for us, especially our 2 seniors. Our first one right here is one of our underclassmen, a kid that's going to play a lot for us next year, I believe, is Justin McCarlin. Now these last 2 right here, these last 2 seniors, before I was moved to running backs this year, I had them at tight end. So it's an emotional goodbye to these 2 guys because we have a lot of highs and a lot of lows together. So it's a shame to see them go. I'll tell you what, these are 2 great Northside Eagles. The first one is Mr. Derek Goodman. This next one, I tell you, I bet I have emailed his dad 4 million times. His dad stays on him, and his family stays on him. He's done a great job with him. He's going to go on to some great things. Alec Garcia. All right, move on to our running backs. All right, starting with our running backs, I'll save my senior to last. Only 1 senior in this group this year. That's good and bad. It's good because all of them are coming back and all of them have had a lot of game experience. It's bad because the senior is one of my favorites of all time. He's played a lot of football for us here at Northside. I'll talk about him in just a minute. The first one that I'm going to talk about right here, a great football player for us, one of the most hard-nosed football players I've ever been around. He played a ton for us as a sophomore. He played even more for us as a junior. A lot of times he's an extremely emotional kid. A lot of times that gets seen in the wrong way, but I'm telling you, you'll never meet a kid that wants to win more than this kid wants to win. Stephon Cross. All right, next, start with our backs, our true backs, start right now. A lot of these guys played a lot for us on the young teams for us this year, especially our JV, did a great job for us. If you ever come watch us at practice, our starters aren't the only people who get work. If you'll ever notice, we have 3 scout team huddles that's always going against the #1 defense. That means every 15 seconds you get your head knocked off because you've got, most of the time, a makeshift offensive line in front of you blocking. If you'd like to do that someday, come out. We'll let you have a little bit of fun. But these guys right here, guys that get us ready through the week and are going to step up and play big for us next year. The first one is Aaron Lewis. Our next one right here, high energy guy, does a lot for us on special teams. He seems like he's been here about 9 years right now. But he does a great job for us all the time. D'Angelo Ridley. Our next kid right here is a kid that I'm telling you was on a fast track to playing for us this year. He may not have realized how close he was to playing on Friday nights for us until he got hurt. And the only reason they kept him off the field is because he refused to stop going out on scout team every day. About every 2 days he'd come back to me and say, "Coach, I'm good to go again," and we turned him loose, and sure enough, he wasn't ready. Dante Brown. All right, next back for us right here, it's a kid that does a little bit of all for us, especially scout team wise, Edward Mathis. Again, another guy that does a great job for us in all capacity and things like that, Tevin Perkins. Next back right here, a kid that has done a lot for us, a kid that's going to play a lot of football games for us in the future. You may not know him yet unless you came to a JV game, but I promise you that you will know him this time next year, Curtis Martin. Next back right here is a kid that got a lot of carries for us this year, played a lot of games for us, especially late. I look for him to be our main workhorse next year to carry a lot of the load for us. I'm looking for him to have a big off season. He works his tail off in the weight room, and I just can't wait to get him back out there this summer. Marte Pope. This next back, this is my only senior, and this is a tough one to lose for all you fans, for all you people that have come out the last couple of years and watched him on the field. I'll never forget the first day I took the job here. He was a freshman, and I remember going to the weight room, and Coach Nix told me, he said, this kid's going to be a great back. And I'll never forget it because you can't forget his name. He's got a famous name, and so it kind of stuck with me. You talking about a great kid, a kid that comes to work every day, very quiet, very unassuming, and does a great job for us, Shaquille O'Neal. All right, most outstanding offensive back award, again, goes to a guy that had almost right at 1,000 yards for us this year, carried a lot of the load for us last year, and all the way to our state champion runner-up last year, and then all through a year this year. And I promise you, standing here, and nobody else will say this to you just about, had he been healthy, it would have been a much, much different story against Whitewater. Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah.
Now Coach Algood and Coach Tharp will introduce our quarterbacks and receivers. Come on up here.
Talk about this group here. I only have 3 senior receivers and 2 senior quarterbacks in this group. This group's very special. Usually when I'm up here, I only have like a couple receivers coming back, maybe not none. This year I was lucky I had 2 of them come back with some experience. And we found a couple more that really helped us out, and I was really looking for a couple more to step up, and I found a couple more to step up. And with Coach Algood coming in this year, we really needed about 6 or 7 receivers to help us out on Friday nights. And I think we really found them, and we're only losing 3, so a lot of those are coming back for me next year. We're going to start with the freshman, Corey Rump. Darius Holmes. And we have one not to make it. Our sophomore, Robert Davis. Jaleel Morris. Brian Dyson. Craig Hickey. Aaron Davis. Our juniors, Darius Fuller. Adonis Hampton. At the Z receiver. Did a great job for me. Miguel Williams. Also started for me at the Z receiver. Zedrick Scott. Z did it all for us. Played quarterback, played Z receiver, played H receiver, played Y receiver, played X receiver. So he did it all. Slash. Cartrell Brooks. He was a 2-year starter for me. Started at the X receiver for me this year. Did a great job. Now to our seniors, Aaron Jones. Miss AJ. AJ came to practice every day, worked hard. You probably didn't know he was there because he never said anything. All he did was just go out there and work. That's the kind of kid I love. Shabazz Ellison. Shabazz worked hard, fastest kid probably on the team. Works hard, can run by anybody. Worked hard, caught football very well. Chris Vickers. It was a 2-year starter. He started for me at the H and Y receiver for me. Did a very good job for us this year.
Before I introduce quarterbacks, I want to thank Coach Kinsler for the opportunity to come back to be a Northside Eagle again. I know it's been said 1,000 times, but don't ever underestimate how great it is to be here. That's fans, that's players, that's coaches, because you never know how good it is until you're gone, and then you can't wait to get back. So it's been a great pleasure of mine to come back and be part of this great program again, and I thank Coach Kinsler for that opportunity. To be a quarterback takes a lot to be a quarterback. It's more than just standing back behind the center and trying to make plays and all that. Sometimes a lot of people think anybody can be a quarterback, but you got to be trustworthy, you got to be hardworking, you got to have leadership skills, and you got to be the coach on the field. And all these young men were that. And something that I appreciated the most is when I first got here in March and we started working, putting some new things offensively, changing terminology up. They were all eager to learn and ready to help everybody else understand the offense. All these men did a great job in the practice field, on the game field. They got the opportunity. It's just been a pleasure to work with them. Start off with a freshman, Horatio Drake. Sophomore, Romel Jordan. Junior, Jack Montgomery. Senior, Dan Mastella. And senior, Briar Van Brunt. The award for quarterback and receiver was a tie. We had 2 recipients. I'll give one and Coach Thorpe will give one. The first one goes to a young man that played a great deal of football here at Northside High School. Did a great job behind the center. Was a leader. Competitive person you've ever want to be around. Very driven to be the best that he could be. He really soaked up a lot of the new things we put in this year and just wanted to be the best that he could be. He's all you want in a player and all you want as a son. And you know, the only disappointment I have is I only have 1 year to coach him. He had 799 yards rushing with 8 touchdowns, had 919 yards passing with 12 touchdowns. Winner of quarterback receiver group, Briar Van Brunt.
Has a smile to light up a room. If I was having a bad day, all I had to do was turn to him and he'll put a smile on my face. And I'm right back happy again. He 3rd on the team in receptions, 13 receptions for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, 16 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown, 2-year starter, number 8, Chris Vickers.
just want to say one thing about Chris. You see, he's not real big, and I tell you, but at some point during the season, I challenged him a little bit, and he came out, and he's a receiver, but he'll tell you that a couple of his best games he played all year, I don't think he caught a passing, and did a great job of blocking, and did an outstanding job for us this year. Next, Coach Stewart will come up and introduce our Offensive Hustler of the Year award.
This young man is also voted on by the team. There's not many kids that you'd say that you coach your own position, that you would love to have him the coach. But this guy's always smiling, always works hard. It's just a joy to be around. Anything you want to do, he does, and does it hard. And the winner of the Northside High School Offensive Hustle Award is Mr. Miguel Williams.
Crawford will introduce our defensive hustler award.
We had so much hustle on defense, we got two guys voted hustle on more on defense. And first guy is a young man that has worked himself, made himself into a player, smaller kid, but has done a really good job for us over the years, and has made himself into one of the better cover guys that we've had here at Northside. And the first Defensive Hustler Award goes to Joe Stern. Making the seat right. All right, the next Defensive Hustler Award. These are the kind of awards you like to give out as a coach, because this is what's, the main reason to coach. And next young man is a guy that's been in the program for 4 years as well. Done everything we asked him to. He does a good job. One of Coach Smith's word is a lunch pail guy, blue collar guy, goes to work every day, and does exactly what we tell him to do. And even if it's jumping in the offensive line when he needs to, just give us a look. But did a great job for us in 4 years. Brandon Waters.
This next award is called the Golden Helmet Award. Some of you may know the history of it. Coca-Cola used to give this award. And the young man that's receiving this award tonight, I think sort of epitomizes Northside football and this football team. I can still remember when things fell apart last year at the state championship game, as hard as that team had worked and overcome things to get to that point and to have it turn south the way that it did. I don't think I've ever seen a young man more committed, take something more personal than he did the loss that night. And I know for a solid year he carried a chip on his shoulder for what had happened that night. And everything he did in the weight room, everything he did to prepare for this season was to make up for what happened that night. And he was determined to be the best he could be in the weight room, so he worked like a beast. Out on the field, he was determined to be the best he could be. Just outstanding work ethic. And as a leader, everybody around him had to work, and had to work as hard as he was, and be committed to the same thing he was committed. He made those guys do that around him. And I think he epitomizes what Northside football is all about, and I believe he's going to go on and have a good future when he leaves here. Our Golden Helmet Award winner is Briar Van Brunt. Next, Coach Allagood will present our Most Outstanding Offensive Player Award.
This award goes to a man who ultra competitive, you know, and I think Coach Harrelson hit it earlier. You know, sometimes he gets misunderstood for that. But there's nobody sitting right over there that wants to win more than this guy, that works harder than this guy, that leads more than this guy, and in every situation on the field, whether we're at practice or a game, he wants to be the best. He knows the game as good as any player. I've been around 16 years. There's not a position on the field that he could not line down and play right off the bat and know what he's supposed to do and what everybody else is supposed to do. He's just that type of player, and he just wheels guys to work hard around him because he's not going to let anybody slack off that's around him. And he had 349 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. He had 222 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. Our most outstanding offensive player, Stephon Cross.
Coach Smith will introduce our Most Outstanding Defensive Award.
This young man right here has meant a lot to Northside football. I can remember him coming over as a 9th grader. Wasn't really sure if he wanted to buy into what we were doing, but he did. He ended up carrying our team. Ended up being a 3-year starter. And this is another guy that, you know, is a sign of the Northside football guy. But our Most Outstanding Defensive Player Award this year goes to Diallos Jackson.
These next awards are the Captain's Awards, and every week when we get through with practice on Wednesday, we always finish up with a 2-minute drill, offense against the defense, and we just like to simulate the end of a game, trying to score with less than 2 minutes on the clock, and then we go in, and at the end of the week, the last thing that we do is the players vote on the captains for that week's game. And again, these awards, these 2 awards were voted on by the players themselves. So these are the 2 guys that they voted on, that they wanted to go out and represent them as their team captains. This year, I think the young men, the players did a great job of voting for these 2 young men and really understanding what the Captain's Award is all about. Our 2 captains for 2010 are Diallos Jackson and Briar Van Pearl. These next awards, these special awards are some awards that were not given out by Northside High School or voted on by Northside. Every year at the end of the season, the coaches in each region will get together and they'll nominate players that they think are worthy of their own region team, players that they felt were the best players at certain positions in the region. This year, now the coaches, these are the other coaches in our region, voted 8 Northside players, first team all-region players. The first of those is Diallos Jackson. Colby Knight, just a sophomore. Brian Layfield, first team. Joe Stern, first team quarterback. Briar Van Brunt, the first team all-region quarterback. Stephen Nelson, first team all-region quarterback. Josh Chester, first team all-region defensive line. Shaquille O'Neal, first team all-region running back. Our last award, you know, a lot of you guys remember when we played Thomas County Central and they had a 6-foot, 100-inch mammoth of a defensive tackle that was supposed to be all-world and, you know, was the most highly recruited defensive lineman in the country. But our coaches in our region still voted Diallo's Jackson the Defensive Player of the Year in the region. I know it's been a long night. I know we've given out a lot of awards and recognized a lot of young men. But these young men are deserving. Like Coach Harrelson made the point, in just the football season, just the season is from the time we start in full pads is 17 weeks. 17 weeks. That's just in pads. But that doesn't count the 30-something weeks before that in preparation. When you spend that much time and you prepare that long for something, it takes a long time to recognize it, especially when you're as successful as these young men are. And I just appreciate your patience tonight and appreciate these young men again. To our seniors, they've accomplished a lot while they've been here at Northside at Northside High School. You've seen your parents. These young men are fixing to enter a whole new realm of their life. And my prayer is that when they leave here, when they leave Northside High School, one thing that they can carry with them is good memories about playing football at Northside High School. And I think these young men are going to be able to do that. Before we close out tonight, one thing I want to do is I want to thank Judy Phillips. Stand up, Judy. Gloria Snyder. Sandy, they decorated and set up everything for tonight's night. One thing I'd like to do, I'm going to do two things, and then I'm going to close because I know that everybody's getting antsy. I know that a lot of you have heard the stories and things that happened to one of our 9th grade football players, Jacquee Billingsley. Jacquee had an unfortunate, just very freak accident during wrestling practice one day once football got over with. To make a long story short, the end result was he had his lower leg partially amputated. And he has been out since the day after Thanksgiving. He's been in Atlanta getting rehab. And, you know, whenever that happens to a young person, whether they're one of ours or not, it's a bitter, bitter thing to deal with. And I can promise you this, that as hard as that is at 14 years old to have to face the decision of losing a limb, that's tough. I can't even imagine it, especially if it was my child. But I can tell you through a lot of prayers, the power of Jesus Christ, Jacquee has faced this like a true Northside champion. He has got a great attitude, he is rehabbing, and he will be back, and correct me if I'm wrong, girl, he'll be back next week in the Middle Georgia area, and he'll be back at Northside High School early part of February. And he's going to play football for Northside High School. be easy. It's not going to be easy. And as we close out tonight, before we close, I would like to, if we could, just bow our heads right now. Before Jacque comes back next week as a Northside family, just send our prayers out for Jacque. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day. And I praise your holy name, and I praise you for being a part of the Northside family. And I praise you for these young men that you've developed here at Northside High School, and I thank you for everything that they mean to me, to these coaches, to their parents, to our community, and everything that they're going to mean to our community. Dear Heavenly Father, one of our own, you know good and well, Jacque is hurting right now, and he's overcoming it only through your strength. It is our prayer that you just continue to strengthen him and strengthen his family. Comfort them in this time that's hard to deal and understand why things like this happen. But dear Heavenly Father, I pray that you prepare us. Prepare us for his return. Prepare us as fans to be supportive of him and to root him on no matter what. Prepare us as teammates to push him, not pity him, and prepare us to get him ready to accomplish the things that he wants to accomplish. It's not going to be an easy task, dear Heavenly Father, but I know that the people sitting in this room with your guidance can help Jacque with that for this young man. I pray these things in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Thank you everybody for coming. Appreciate it. We'll see you out on the field in 2011. You guys make sure you clean up, young guys.
Sure, Mr. Biden.